good evening. My name is Muhibbul Muktadir Tanim. I am the General Secretary of Bangladesh System Administrators Forum, and I am working in ICDRB as a Senior Manager leading IT infrastructure there. So let's start our panel discussion. All of you already know our panel topic is exploring data center and cloud services, which is Bangladesh perspective. Already we have listened to a very informative and beautiful panel keynote to speak from Mahdi Jaman Bhai. He is from the United States. He categorically emphasized some very important topics. Specifically, he emphasized latest technology adaptation. He also emphasized underlying infrastructure, emphasized skill development, essentiality of policy development, and larger scale application adaptability he has emphasized. So let's not waste time. We have been already introduced with our panelists and our panelist members. My first knowing or questions to Mr. Yousup Faruqu Bhai, who is Managing Director of Microsoft. We want to know from him that what are the key factors shaping the landscape of data center and cloud services. So Mr. Yousup.
Good evening. Good evening, and thank you for having me. Thank you so very much for the organizer for organizing such an impactful discussion, and but I'm sure I really wanted to see a further discussion around AI transformation, because the entire world is talking about AI. Because I think when it comes to cloud, the industry has been talking for the last 15 to 20 years. Particularly starting with, when it comes to cloud, I'm sure there is no doubt about it that country needs more educated infrastructure than ever. We need an infrastructure so that we can build every single application we want. I'll start with an example, the way maybe the Microsoft has been supporting a number of startups in the country. If I call out, maybe we have been providing number of different infrastructure and application services to more than maybe 300 to 400 startups of the country. So when I look at those startups, they really wanted to get a platform. It's not about getting a VM, not about getting any storage, not about getting a container. It's about we want a platform where you can build applications at scale. Number two, we want to build an application with ensuring the security by principle, by design. Number three, we want to make sure that infrastructure has the maximum level of availability and the redundancy. The number four, we want to make sure it is cost optimized. We cannot, as any startup, if I may call out, the cost is always a prime factor for them to make an investment on technology. So it is so critical for them to find an infrastructure which is really cost effective. Number five, we want to go global. I think as a country, there is no doubt we want to join the global economy. And if we want to join the global economy, it starts with the technology transformation. And I think that's what exactly as a country we are going to the digital Bangladesh and with an inspiration of this smart Bangladesh. Now if you look at fundamentally, there is no doubt we need more and more cloud service in the country. It can be in the form of local cloud, it can be in the form of public cloud. I think the core always, maybe the question always remains how the policy is. Is it really supporting the cloud services to consume? Is it local? I think that is still a discussion, and I'm sure there are a few panelists and also the minister recently says there is a PDPA in discussion, and I think which we are expecting to approve in few months' time. I think that will provide much more clarity. What are the data we can really take out? What are the cloud services we can consume? So I think that will definitely help progress much faster in application and deployment. Number three, when you look at fundamental view of this understanding of cloud in our country or in our industry, I think it is pretty much limited with VM, storage and container. And I think that's where most likely we're failing behind. When you look at the other countries or other industry, I think the cloud is much more than VM, container or even storage. I think when we talk about example Microsoft, we talk about few thousand services. It's not about this VM because it's already a commodity. If we are talking about VM and container, maybe we are talking about 15 years old technology. We really need to think. Example, let's say if you're talking about a CRM as an application, but you're not just talking about what VM I need, what storage I need. It might need 15 or 20 different services, and cloud is all about services. I'll finish with this one example. Recently, we worked with a customer in Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, a customer says, I have almost 200,000 lines of code. I want to go get this code to, I don't know if you guys heard about GitHub. So there is a tool called GitHub which acts as a code repository, and we could use a AI copilot with GitHub. So what he said, I'll get this code to this code repository, and I'll ask AI bot to develop my apps. And I'm sure you can imagine this is a different level of transformation we're talking about. And if we're talking about still VM and storage, I think that's again we're failing behind. So in my summary, when it comes to particularly as a country, there is no doubt there's enough evidence we are progressing. We need a solid infrastructure. It's local, it's public. I think it's just a policy where we need to get more clarity. When it comes to our understanding, I'm sure we need to spend more time on learning technology. We really need to see what is happening in the world, how fast we can learn and how fast we can adapt. And finally, I think it is so important because I literally witnessed a number of security breaches in any form in Bangladesh. I've seen many across different industry. And to me, fundamentally, the learning is just so critical. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yousup Faruqu, for your very insightful information. You already know that cloud services are very popular, not only to the professionals, it's becoming popular to the students. We will listen from Dr. Mainoul, who is Director of IIT Dhaka University. We want to know from him that is there any potential for collaboration between local universities, technology companies and cloud service providers to conduct independent research and establish performance baselines for the Bangladeshi cloud market?
Thank you very much. The answer is always yes, right? There is always a scope for collaboration between the industry and academia. But the problem or the issue is actually the way we are trying to collaborate. There are actually three stakeholders here: academia, industry and government. Every time we are talking about collaboration, but the way we are trying to do that, I think it doesn't work that way. So I think we need some concrete proposal from the industry or maybe from the academia, what we are trying to do. And we always complain about the funding. I believe there are funds, even the sponsor BCCICT supported by those organizations of the government, they have their funds. They are always keep telling us where we can fund, tell us what you guys can do. But I think the industry should come up with some proposal or proposition like, we need this and that. Can academia help us, or can we collaborate? But I don't see any, at least in my personal experience, I don't see such proposals. I only see we need collaboration, and I've been listening to this for decades. So for engaging students, getting back to your question, there is always a scope for collaboration, but it has to be concrete. And to be honest, at this moment, we don't have, I mean, the academia or the industry, the inter-country is not that much of prepared, even in terms of knowledge and understanding about the cloud. Like he's correctly mentioning, it's not only about VM and containers. It's all about services. We are moving, the world is moving towards the services. I think awareness and even in the curriculum and syllabus, we need to introduce those sort of things. So once again, it's possible, but we need to rethink, we need to redesign how we want it.
What are the takeaways you can suggest for these collaboration or reactions?
In terms, if you say, like even from this security conference, I've been sitting over there, I've been learning a lot of things from, Jaman Bhai was talking very fantastically, he has been mentioning what we need to do, how we can do this or that. And in terms of that, the one important thing I would like to mention is, even my opinion, when we talk about learning is, see, in the university, people are there only for 3 or 4 years. but they stay in the industry for 40 years, 10 times. And you need to keep learning. It's always learning. 30% of your time, like he mentioned in his keynote, the 30% of your time has to be in learning. So when industry says, I'm not complaining, when industry says, we don't get enough people, industry-ready people from the academia, it's not the job of academia to make students, I always contradict with this opinion or always protest, it's not the job of academia to prepare students for industry. I give them the fundamental knowledge so that industry can build them the way they want to build them. It's actually, our keynote speaker actually mentioned that academia should teach them, they learn from academia how to learn. They need to learn that. So I cannot continuously give you the students for blockchain, for IoT, for technology just changing, always changing. It's keep getting changes. So I cannot keep up with that, but I can give them the fundamental knowledge, the theory through which they can learn whatever you ask them to learn. That's our purpose. That's how we work.
Thank you. It's really a shared responsibility between academic,
Absolutely.
institution, and industry. We are coming. Thank you, Mr. Dr. B.M. Mainoul. Now we will come to Professor Dr. M.D. Mahfuzul, which is Honorable Vice Chancellor of BSMRDU. We will come to you, which is the point which we discussed. Our asking is most related to this learning and the job opportunities. We want to know from you that how do you envision the impact of data center and cloud services on job creation and skill development in Bangladesh sector?
Okay, thank you for inviting me to these panel sessions, and also concerning this type of questions. Actually, in Bangladesh, we are in big trouble in the sense that we always try to keep ourselves away from the technological complexities. Technology is coming and technology is invented in the technology changes. In respect to the data center, we see that we have public data centers, public clouds, we have private clouds. And very recently, the inclusion of private clouds, it gives us the big opportunities. But when we are making the clouds, definitely we don't have the technologies. So we have to bring the technologies from the outside of Bangladesh. This is true. But what about operating these instruments by ourselves? So where is the gap, if I can consider? The gap is that Professor Mainoul said a bit ago that the university is giving the fundamental knowledge. I think I shall differ from him that the time has changed. I'm not engaged of only technology. It should be changed in education as well. Once it was pedagogy. Pedagogy means teacher with learning system or teaching system, where the teacher has designed what the student will learn. And universities are providing the basic knowledge. Now the education system has been changed. It's gone to the andragogy, then pedagogy, then now currently cybergogy. So problem-centric learning system is already introduced all over the world. In that sense, so our students can be pushed to the industrial work as well. But where is the opportunity for the students to learn about the cloud computing? Because it cannot be built inside the university at this moment. There may be, in future, we can build a cloud in the university, inside the university, so that they can do research and work on the clouds. On the other hand, in the current basic technological subjects, for example, computer science and engineering or ICT, in this subject, we have hardly included the topics on cloud computing or data centers like that. We are assuming that we shall give the basic knowledge, but industry needs the specific knowledge. So how this gap can be minimized and how the industry can cooperate with the universities, and university can also cooperate with the industries. We have a big gap among us. With being the teachers of the university, we are thinking that we are dealing with the basic knowledge and we are working for the knowledge areas. Actually industry people's or industry jobs are not associated with the universities. On the other hand, the industries are not coming to the universities due to several reasons like that. These gaps should be minimized. If the industry don't come to the university, then the university could not understand how the curriculum can be prepared and graduates can be trained for the industry. 4 years is not a short time nowadays where the knowledge is available in Google and YouTube. And students can learn a lot of things from this abundant resources, abundant knowledge scopes. We need skill among our students. And for creating these skills, industry definitely work with the university for their own benefits. And university also come the proposals with the industries that what and how their curriculum can be changed and teaching methodology can be changed. Definitely there should have funding issue, and that funding should not be a big issue. I think industries, if the industry gets the ready products, then they can invest some money for the university students and for the research activities. First of all, if we want to achieve the vision 2041, if we want to become the smart Bangladesh enabled with the high-tech industries, then we definitely make a bridge between the university, industry with the assistance of the government so that we can produce our own technology. Even if we can brought the technologies from the outside, we have to manage our technologies by ourselves with less cost, less effort, and competency. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your very insightful information. So throughout this panel discussion, we have actually acknowledged the gap between academic institution and the industry has to be enhanced, and both parties' representatives are presenting in this panel discussion. So throughout this type of sessions, we can elaborate or strengthen this communication and erase this communication. So thank you so very much. We have completed this panel discussion. We will now conduct next panel discussion. Thank you so much for attending this session.